So I'm 19 years old and I made over 5 grand last month with appointment setting. And I've always wanted to make money online since I was like 15. And I've tried so many business models from e-commerce dropshipping to reselling, you name it. And that's when I came across appointment setting. And it's been the only business model that has been consistently bringing in money monthly for me. And I literally recommend it to everybody if you want to make money online and travel the world because it is a very consistent online business model and it's very easy to enter. You don't need to spend a lot of money on ads like with e-commerce. You need to build an entire personal brand and post a lot of content. The only thing you need to do with appointment setting is make money for another creator. And in today's video, I'm going to explain you step by step how to become an appointment setter and how to land your first offer. And the reason I'm such a big fan of appointment setting is because you don't need a lot of skills. You just need to know a little bit of sales and you can make consistent 3 to 5K a month online. It's really that easy. So I made a step-by-step guide for you guys so you know exactly what to do and how to become a successful appointment setter. And I hope you guys enjoy it because I put a lot of work into this.
All right, so first I want to break down exactly what appointment setting is. As you can see, I took a couple of examples of coaches you've probably seen online on Instagram. And there's one thing that they all have in common, which is they all have a certain keyword in their bio that says, DM me a certain word for one-on-one coaching. And I took 3 examples in this case to show you. And what this basically means is that they are selling high ticket coaching. And high ticket coaching can range between 3 to 5K. And the fact that they are selling high ticket coaching means that they have appointment setters. So once you send a DM to one of these guys, there's going to be an appointment setter in their DMs that is going to have a conversation with you. Okay? And their goal is, the appointment setter's goal is to get you into their program. And then the appointment setter gets a commission, which is usually between 5 to 10%. So for example, let's take Alex Eubank as an example. If you're a lead and you're a creator and you want to monetize your social media, right? That's what he says in his bio. And you DM the word brand to him. There's going to be an appointment setter that is going to ask you a couple of questions. And he's trying to find out what your goals are, what you want to achieve, and what's been the struggle that you haven't achieved that goal yet. And his goal is to create as much urgency as he can, so you feel the need to buy into Alex's program. I hope that makes sense. All right. So now that we know what an appointment setter actually does, now comes the big part, right? Okay, how do you actually sell high ticket coaching as an appointment setter? So once you're on an offer like this and you get these kind of messages, it is your job to get them into their coaching. And like I said, there's a current situation where the lead is at, and they have their dream outcome or their goal. And the space in between that you can see here is what I call the gap. And our goal as appointment setters is to create the gap or make the gap as big as we can. And the reason for that is the bigger the gap, the more the lead feels like he needs our coaching to make that change or to get that to a dream outcome. Okay? So, what kind of questions do you ask to make the gap bigger? First, you need to know exactly where the lead is in his current situation. So, let's take Alex Eubank as an example. So, he helps creators monetize their social media. Okay? So, the leads that is going to message him are probably already posting content online and they want to make money from him. Right? So, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to ask, okay, well, what makes you want to monetize your brand online? And then they're going to tell you their goal, right? So, for example, oh, I really want to buy a car, but I don't have the money right now. So, I want to make money off of my social media, right? So, then you kind of know their dream outcome, which is buying a car. Okay? And then you can ask, okay, well, what's been the struggle so far to buy a car, to monetize your brand online? And then they say, for example, well, I'm posting content, but I have just no idea how to actually make money off of it. And then you have the current situation and the dream outcome, right? In the big picture. And now you have some sort of gap, but you want to make it bigger. And so you know their pain point, which is they don't know how to monetize their brand. And then your goal is to, okay, so you want to make money off of your brand. What have you tried so far? And for example, if they say, oh, I've tried so many things, like I've tried coaching, offering people coaching in the DMs, whatever, and I can't make it work, right? So that makes the gap a little bigger because they feel like they need some help with it, okay? They can go even deeper into that pain point by saying, oh, damn, okay, for how long has that been going on for? And then they say, oh, I've been wanting to make money off my brand for over 2 years. Then you make the gap even bigger. So you see, by asking these kind of questions, they get a higher need to make that change because they feel like they're missing out. And then there's, on the other side, the goal. And you can ask certain questions to make the gap even bigger on the other side, okay? And so you can say, for example, instead of, because we know that the prospect wants to buy a car, right? A question you can ask is, okay, well, what would you like most about doing your brand full time and making money off of that? And then they say, for example, oh, I would love to make a lot of money and change a lot of people's lives. Okay, well, you made that goal a little bit bigger, right? So these are just a couple of examples that you can use in basically any type of offer to create the gap and to make the gap as big as possible. All right, let's move on. So there comes a point where people have limiting beliefs and they throw objections at you why they shouldn't buy your coaching, right? So people can say, for example, oh, I don't think I'm in shape to coach other people. For example, if your offer is selling coaching or teaching people how to become an online coach, right? And a really good way to handle objections is by using analogies. And this is a good example. So people say, for example, oh, I'm not in shape enough to coach other people. And you can say, well, the fact that you're not on top of the staircase, that doesn't mean that you can't help people that are 2 stairs below you, right? And most of the people get mind blown by this insight and immediately handle their limiting belief. Because usually the people that have these limiting beliefs are just a certain mindset that they have to change, right? So it's not actually an objection, it's just a smoke screen. And your job as an appointment setter is to be able to handle these objections so they actually see the point of buying your coaching. So never ignore objections, always make sure you handle them before you move on. And it can be anything. For example, if you're on an offer where a coach helps people get in shape and a prospect has a limiting belief of, oh, I just can't get in shape. There's some people out there that really think that they can't get in shape. And in order to actually handle an objection, yes, you can use analogies, but that's not always the case. So if you want to handle an objection the right way, you got to find out everything about the objection, okay? So, for example, in my other example, when someone says, I cannot get in shape, it doesn't matter what I try. You can say, okay, well, what have you tried so far to get in shape? And then they say, for example, oh, I've tried dieting and I'm going to the gym like 3 times a week. Then I ask another question, which is, well, what does your diet look like? And some people are genuinely confused about how to do a diet correctly, right? So they say, for example, oh, I only eat McDonald's twice a week, so I should be able to lose weight, right? There's people out there that genuinely have these limiting beliefs. So the more questions you ask, the more you understand their current situation and how to handle an objection. That's the most important thing. So now you know that it's not the fact that they can't get in shape, It's the fact that they go to the McDonald's twice a week, that they're not in shape yet, right? So now you can handle the objection by challenging them. So that's the most important thing about handling objections. So for example, to give you an example on to handle objections or to finalize this objection is when they say, oh, I go to McDonald's twice a week, but I should be able to, my diet should be correct in that way, right? I'll just give an example. You can ask them, for example, oh, do you think that the people with your dream physique go to McDonald's twice a week as well? And then they start thinking, right? They think, oh, well, I don't think so. And then you can ask, well, so do you think you're going to achieve your dream physique by going to McDonald's twice a week? And then they say, oh, no, probably not. Because the bigger picture is just the fact that they need accountability and knowledge on how to actually diet instead of them not being able to get in shape. And now they understand that and you handle that objection. Okay, that's the most important thing. So that's just in a very short way on how to handle an objection and how to make sure that people are ready to buy your coaching. All right, now is the most important part because people need to have urgency in order to buy your product. And high ticket coaching is always an impulse buy, right? People, yes, they do think about it, but there's always a point where they think, okay, I need to make the change now and not in 6 months. And yes, you can always ask that question to them. So for example, what do you think now is the perfect time to start your coaching business? And then they start selling themselves, right? So they say, oh, I've always wanted to do this, but I finally have some more free time off of work, so that's why it's the perfect time. So then you make them sell the belief that they need the coaching right now. I hope that makes sense. And so there's multiple ways you can create the urgency. And it's not just by saying, for example, oh, today we have 50% off. Like, that's not how it works. That's what most salespeople do wrong. It's about understanding at what point the prospect is going to make the change. Okay? And so, for example, you can ask a question like I just told you, but you can also ask, okay, well, for example, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you currently about creating your own coaching business and actually getting to 10K a month with it? And they say, for example, oh, an 8 out of 10. Well, then you say, okay, well, that's not bad, but what's keeping you from giving it a 10? And then they're going to give you objections that are holding them back from starting the coaching right away. Right? So that's how you create urgency in like a short explanation. All right, now you have the hang of what exactly appointment setting is and the basics about how to actually sell to people and how to become a good appointment setter. And now comes the big part of, okay, how do I actually land on an offer, right? How do I get on these accounts? How do I actually start making money through these accounts? And there's definitely multiple ways you can do it. The easiest way is to send a bunch of DMs to all of these people that you see right here that offer high ticket coaching. Just mass DM them. So send like 50 DMs a day with like, oh, I'm an appointment setter. I can change your business totally. I can make at least 200K a month from you. Okay, that's just a little tip, by the way. Never say, oh, I'm an appointment set, or I'm trying appointment setting and I think I could be a good fit. They don't care about that. You need to make sure that they think you're the right fit for their company. Okay, so you got to be confident when you do these outbounds to these people. So you got to say, I'm going to change your business if I become your appointment setter. I hope that makes sense as well. So that's the way to do it. How I personally landed on an offer is I bought a mentorship into actually becoming an appointment setter. So I had one-on-one coaching to become the best appointment setter I could have been. And I used my network from my mentor to land on the best offer. And I always recommend to go for mentors because my mentor has been life-changing for me. And if you genuinely want to learn appointment setting and if you're genuinely serious about changing your entire life and being able to work online and travel the entire world, then you're going to need a mentor, okay, to actually understand every single thing you need to understand about appointment setting to become an actual good appointment setter and actually make even 5 to 10K a month. There's appointment settings making like 15K a month. Right? It's very possible, but you need the right guidance and you need the right skill set to be able to do this. So if you're genuinely serious about appointment setting, I can definitely help you out with the basics and make sure you land an offer, make sure you start making your first money online, and so you can just travel the world and do whatever you want, right? So if you're serious about it, hit me up in the DMs. I have my Instagram in the description below. And yeah, otherwise I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.